So we loved the movie, and we have a couple questions, and I think my kiddos are going to ask the questions. So, Kennedy, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kennedy,
Hey,
and I'm
Kennedy.
asking, what are you hoping kids and families take away after watching this movie?
Oh, that's a great question, Kennedy. Thank you. Well, I'm sure you can answer this with me, but I hope that you're gonna come out of it with a little bit of a great message that you can discuss about, and talk about. To me, this movie is about many things. The first one being like we're talking about acceptance. We're talking about societal acceptance. We're talking about difference. We're talking about redemption and second chances and stereotyping. And those I think are very important subjects that the audience that sees the film just kind of come out and kind of discuss a little bit about. What does that mean to be different? What does that mean to have a past that is against your own will? I mean, like those characters are like being pitted as the bad guys. Is that really fair? Do you think that we're writing those terrible stories about big bad wolf and are wolves really that mean? And so when that happens in real life, because this is of course a metaphor, right? When that happens in real life, when you're being just like pitted or described as somebody who's bad and you never did anything really bad, deep down you just know that you're not a bad person, but they start identifying because people tell you you're bad. Is that a good thing, you think? I think you have your own choices and you can make your own choices in life and just prove that you're not that person. And you don't even need to prove that. You just need to prove to yourself that you're not a bad person. So I think those are important messages. And there's also the story of friendship, right? When you are deciding to kind of change your life to become a better person, and your friends don't understand that, maybe they're not the right friends. Maybe those people can, or if they are the right friend, then they're gonna support you and help you change and come back to you even if they're a little angry at first, but they will understand what you're going through. So I think those are what I hope people who see the film come out with and just discuss, especially within families, and you guys are the perfect age for that, I think.
Well, thank you. Okay, Carter, you want to ask a question?
Have you thought about a sequel since there are so many books?
Yeah, I've been asked this question many times. Yes, of course, I'm thinking about a sequel. It's not necessarily my decision to make. Of course, I work with a studio that is, the one making the decisions. But I agree with you. There's so much material to be mined for us to make a second and a third and a fourth film with these characters and a group of characters. So I hope there will be one. But at the moment, I can't answer that question because it's still something undecided. But I'm crossing my fingers with you. And if there's one, I'd like to be involved in it.
Yeah. Okay, Kennedy, you want to ask another question?
Who is your favorite character in the movie?
I think it's Mr. Wolf for me. It's Mr. Wolf. He's so cool and so charming. But at the same time, I think it's because he's also like a big goofball. And also is because he's got such an interesting arc, right? He's the character who changes and decides to completely rethink his life, despite everyone not wanting him to change who he is, except for Diane Foxington. And I think it's a very inspiring character.
What made you want to direct and be part of this film?
Um, I I had directed a short film before called Bilby, and other short films, but much before that, long ago. And I'm an animator, right? Animators are the ones who create life, just give life to those characters. And then I ended up directing a short film called Bilby, and when I did that, I was like, I fell in love with directing. Why? Because it gives me the opportunity to tell a story and pass on messages, like I was talking about. But also because it's such a fun job, because you're always constantly being exposed to new things to do. You're just one minute you're working on the story, the second minute you're working on directing actors, and the third one would be third meeting you're just reflecting on the music of your film, and then after that you're editing. I mean, it's like such an incredibly varied job, that you're never bored. And so I really love it. And I think I kind of wanted to continue that, and ended up falling on the Bad Guys book. And the Bad Guys book had been purchased for the adaptation rights by the studio. And so we were kind of at the very beginning. The studio was starting to make it. And when I just stumbled on those books and the first script, I was like, I know what to do with this. I know what story to tell and what world to explore there. And it kind of became kind of naturally after that where I directed it. But because I presented my vision to the studio and they liked it, and they asked me if I wanted to do it. And so of course I was like super ready and wanted to do that. Yeah.
The cast is hilarious. Did you have any say in like,
Oh, yeah.
who you wanted as, the
Oh,
voices?
of course. So the process is, first of all, having characters that are very well defined on the page, that helps a lot. So kind of knowing which actors would fit with which character, and then you go through a casting process, and that casting is done with our head of casting here at the studio, and yourself, and we all go through like many lists of actors, try to pare down those lists and kind of cut some of their voices from interviews and other movies, cut them together, and then try to just look at it. Does it fit with this design that I have for this character? And then up until you kind of narrow it down to one person. And then you reach out to that person and say, hey, can I pitch you my movie? Can you come? And the first one we did it with was Sam Rockwell. And he was like, I love your idea. I want to be part of it.
Oh, yeah. He was
And because, yeah, he's amazing. And because it's Sam Rockwell, all the other rest of the cast members, all the rest of the cast members were like, yep, I want to do it too. So yeah, it was kind of we had a great idea, I think, and then we had Sam Rockwell also with such a beloved actor and such a big force there, big weight, and then so these two combined just made people want to come and work on the film. And now they're such a great group of people just together. They love each other, it's awesome.
Okay, I'm told we can ask one last question. Okay, we haven't asked that one. You want to ask it, Kennedy?
Do you have a favorite scene in the movie?
Okay, I'm gonna give you two, okay?
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna ask you your favorite scene. All right.
We like the car chases.
Well, that's one of my favorite too, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the very first sequence of the film is one of my favorite one. Why? For many reasons. But the first sequence is, as you know, Wolf and Snake in a diner, and they are talking, and then they stand up and they cross the street and they are about to
break in the bank. Yeah.
This sequence I really love because first of all, it's incredibly hard to do. It's a 2.5 minute shot. There's no cut in this sequence, one long shot. It's very hard to do. Second is because it's such a unique way of starting an animated film that you've not seen before. It's very adult. It's very, and it's doing so much work on establishing the relationship between the characters, showing what the relationship of these characters is with the rest of the world, showing what the look of the film, the style of the film will be. So that sequence, I'm very proud of it. And then the second one would be, I think, the Diane Foxington reveal, breaking them out of jail by being a kung fu master there. I really love that scene because it's a kind of the opposite of what we just talked about with that first sequence. It's like a full action sequence, a big fight. It's incredibly stylized look-wise, but it's also in terms of the movement, in terms of the way it's shot, it's something you haven't seen before, really. It's like a very specific style of animation that is influenced by Japanese animation, but very also spruced up and funned up through more of a French/American flavor, and this one I'm very proud of too. So what's your favorite one now?
Okay, well, you love the whole relationship with the wolf and the cat, huh? When he's getting the cat out of the tree.
I like cats.
Oh, that's a great sequence.
Yeah. And you like the car chases, huh?
Yeah, not just because of the car chase, just because they tell the characters, and also because of every time they kept giving him stuff, they gave him a cake and all this stuff or
yeah. So it's the first car chase.
Yeah.
You like the last car chase with Diane and the motorbike?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But we love the movie and we thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
My pleasure, you guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.